And we would like to remind you that all the sessions will be recorded and live streamed today. And now, please welcome our CEO of the Taiwanese Information Center, Kenny Huang.
Okay, good morning. For those who join us through the internet, please visit the event website for live streaming. Mr. Sultan, Director of National Communication Commission, and we have David Conner, CTO of for ICANN Internet Corporation for Assigned Name and Number, and we have Nicole Zhang, former Chairperson of National Communication Commission, and Dr. De Cai Li, Senior Advisor for National Security Council, and Paul Wilson, Director General from APAC-TWNIC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kenny Huang. I'm your EC for this morning, MC for this morning. And thank you for coming to Taipei for joining ICANN and APAC-TWNIC Engagement Forum today here. Welcome to Taipei. Thank you for making it happen in Taipei in person. And for those who join online, also thank you for your time to join online here. Also to our partner organizations such as ICANN, APAC-TWNIC, and the Asia organization, IETF, Internet Society, and also JP CERT. And thank you for joining us, for being here with us. A lot of people question what is Internet governance. Basically, so many people are curious about how we're going to discuss Internet governance. And here we're going to discuss all the institutions involved, such as ICANN, such as APAC-TWNIC, such as IETF, how we define the policy, how we regulate the Internet. For example, like ICANN, we have Akinori from ICANN board. He's going to share some view regarding to how ICANN going to formulate the number space, domain name space regarding to domain name policies. And like APAC-TWNIC, how we're going to make address policy in the Asia-Pacific region and even coordinate with different regional internet registry to coordinate, become a global internet policies. And also we have IETF, a lot of IETF participant and contributor. IETF define the protocol standard. The standard can regulate the software behavior. That's how we regulate the internet. So basically, we are not only discuss about the institution, most importantly, how the governance has been involved, how it's going to evolve into the future. That's something we concern. And fortunately, we have many experts from different places of the world joined together here today. I believe it's going to be a very productive and very fruitful discussion for the session today and tomorrow. I think it's a time for me to hand the floor to Mr. Sultan, Director of National Communication Commission. He will show his view to us. Please join me to welcome Mr. Sultan. Thank you.
The host of today's event, Kenny Huang, and the board director, Mayamura, and both ICANN CTO, David Conner, and Dr. De Cai Li, a senior advisor, National Security Council, and my boss, and former chairperson of NCC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of NCC, I'm honored to be here with you on this open section or the ceremony. And it is great to be here. And with the aim to fulfill this section to be productive, it is my honor to hear. And with the aim to, sorry, I have to take my notes, but I have to say that I would like to thank everybody from the international internet community to join us today, and welcome to Taipei. As the line between the cyberspace and the real world has become much blurred, the challenge we face is correspondingly getting more complex and tougher than ever before. In that context, seeing the capacity audience today, I think the motive that get us here may be different from person to person on the scene. But there is one thing I can be much sure of, that is everybody here will get something valuable and insightful as long as he actively participates in today's section and goes through all the sessions planned by the TWNIC. The reason why support me to say so is quite simple. You see, the case of the event is just too great for the audience to miss any in-depth discussion. As we can see, the spectrum of distinguished guests and speakers range from ICANN board, APNIC, and related expertise community from around the world, focusing on various issues like security, GDPR, who is, and the privacy or the RPKI, GTLD, and so on and so forth. What's more, the practice of foreign exemplify the core value of ICANN that ICANN has long championed and cherished bottom-up and multi-stakeholder approach. That being said, the principle is by no means cliché, rhetoric, or any jargon of internet, but rather it has been the very DNA of an internet community centered on ICANN. So it's a great opportunity for attendees to seize the moment to harvest and contribute as much as you can. And what role does NCC play in regard to today's forum? Well, being a supervisory government agency of TWNIC, NCC has devoted to and has been responsible to join hands with TWNIC to better cooperate with the broad ICANN community to achieve and safeguard our common goal to make a better cyberspace featuring one world, one internet hallmark. There has been a striking case about IPv6 which demonstrates how we effectively consolidate the effort of local telecom company, TWNIC, and other government agencies. Since 2017, NCC and TWNIC have jointly launched an ambitious project aimed at raising the IPv6 adoption rate in Taiwan. As of today, the results are quite encouraging. The IPv6 adoption rate in Taiwan has shot to top 10 ranking from nowhere in global context in an impressive way that we kind of make a record-breaking in terms of growth within such a short period. And that's all from me. Finally, wish all the best in you and health and good luck to you. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. And the next opening speaker is David Conroe from City of ICANN. They give a few words for the opening. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Kenny, for allowing me to be here for this event. Thank you, Dr. Chen and Dr. Chan, and for all of the people who are participating in this meeting. Thanks especially to TWNIC for helping to co-organize this event. It's been, in talking with my team, it's been actually a wonderful experience, and we look forward to having sort of similar events in the future. Just a little bit of ancient history. As some of you know, APNIC was established in this area about 25 years ago. In December of 1993, we actually had what was then known as the APCCIRN AP-EPG meeting, and that was a bit of an acronym to remember, but during that meeting, we actually talked about APNIC for one of the first times. That was here in Taipei, about 5 kilometers from where we're standing right now. That showed that Taiwan was always at the forefront of internet technologies, even when very few people actually knew what the internet was or what it might actually mean. So TWNIC has been a close partner, and ICANN.org very much appreciates the opportunity to have this engagement forum here in Taipei. We deeply appreciate the efforts that TWNIC has undertaken to promote sort of the multi-stakeholder model of internet governance. And we think that in the future that model will be able to help the internet continue to grow and to address the needs of the rest of the population that's not yet on the internet. With that, I look forward to a productive meeting, and I will hand it back to Kenny. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So our next opening speaker will be Dr. D.T. Lee from National Security Council. Thank you, Dr. D.T. Lee.
Mr. Mayamura, the ICANN board member, Mr. Conrad, ICANN CTO, and Mr. Wilson, Director General, IPNIC, Mr. Houston, Chief Scientist, IPNIC, and Mr. Rembar, CIO of the RIPE NCC National Coordination Center, and Mr. Kenny Huang, the CEO of TWNIC, and Nicole Chen, the former chairperson of the NCC here, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Taiwan and ICANN APAC-TWNIC Engagement Forum. And my name is D.T. Lee. I serve as a senior advisor to the at the National Security Council. I would like to express my appreciation to the forum organizers, the staff, the ICANN, and the TWNIC for this hard work, for putting this event together. The internet and ICT development has brought about changes of our life in the physical world to the electronic way of life in the cyber or digital world, e-commerce, e-banking, e-learning, e-transportation, e-entertainment, e-healthcare, etc. The computing world has changed from web-based computing to mobile computing to ubiquitous or pervasive computing, thanks to the development of smartphones, IoT, and wearable devices. You feel and see the changes because you have gone through it from the days when you did not have computer internet into the days when now you have. I guess those who were born in the digital world probably would not be able to imagine the days without smartphones, or might not be even aware of or feeling these changes. In the old days, we have two groups of people, the haves and the have-nots, or wealthy and poor people economically. But in the digital world, we also have two groups of people, the information haves and have-nots. Due to digital divide, the ICT technologies have enabled and fostered the fast development of digital economy on the plus side. But on the downside, we have also seen the development of hackers' economy, where hackers utilize technology to make personal gains. E-crime, e-trafficking, e-money laundering, ransomware, you name it, are prevalent. State-sponsored hackers even use it to threaten the stability of foreign governments, engage in activities like espionage, cyber theft of intellectual properties, disrupting industrial control systems and critical services like power, transportation, banking, and healthcare. Cybersecurity or cyber defense, critical information infrastructure protection becomes a national issue. The content available on the internet, proper and improper, has also become an issue. We used to relying on mass media, newspapers or radios or TVs to get information. With this internet, the information is available at your fingertips. How to control or manage the content you receive on the internet versus the rights of freedom of speech and expression is an issue of internet governance. Furthermore, with the advancement of technology, all of a sudden, we are not only the consumer of information, but are also producers of information. With social media, like Facebook, Twitter, we can put up comments in our social activities on the internet. Problems arise. We've seen internet bullying or cyberbullying that have created social problems, causing victims to have depression or even suicidal ideation. Now the spread of fake news or disinformation is also an issue for internet governance. I hope safeguarding the freedom of speech expression and at the same time protecting innocent people from cyberbullying and the privacy of individuals will be a highly relevant issue for discussion in this forum or future forums. We advocate open and free markets in the digital economy, but to protect the well-being of the society and people from cyber theft and national security will be responsibility of every citizen, while raising the awareness of cybersecurity and media literacy to fight against disinformation on the internet shall be the responsibility of every government, and maybe ICANN can play some role. This forum has brought many experts from around the world to share their knowledge and experience, and I hope each one of you participating in this event will find this forum useful and rewarding. And thank you again for those of you who come afar, and wish you this meeting a great success. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. DTD. We did suffer a lot from cybersecurity. That's why we pay more attention on cybersecurity governance issue from internet governance point of view. Also, next, I'd like to welcome Nicole Zhang, the former chairperson of National Communication Commission, to give us opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you and good morning. I'm delighted to be here with you on the opening day as an internet law and telecommunications regulatory lawyer and former chairperson of NCC at the ICANN APAC-TWNIC Engagement Forum. Sorry about that. And to be part of the first event. I think today is the first event that gathered the multiple stakeholder community in Taiwan and the International Internet Organization together. I would like to thank our friends from the international internet communities, ICANN, APAC-TWNIC, NCC, and other internet organizations to join us today. Welcome to Taiwan. Having you join us and share your unique insights on different aspects of the internet development in the forum will be a great opportunity for local community members to better know the current trends and the development of the global internet. According to the 2018 Taiwan Internet Report conducted by TWNIC, there are over 82% of people in Taiwan surfing the internet with digital devices. The internet application and business development have been closely bonded with people's daily life. As the innovation and the application of internet are widely spreading, it is essential to keep such evolution strong and safe. And the public policies, privacy, and cybersecurity are vital aspects that we want to discuss and share experience in the engagement forum with Taiwan's and global stakeholders. The internet is the place where all the information is linked together, and it requires great effort in many fronts to maintain its operation. Such efforts is the result of the co-work between Internet Corporation for Assigning Names and Numbers, or ICANN, and all the stakeholders involved. The ICANN serves as a non-profit organization to promote the stable and the secure internet through the multiple stakeholder model, while coordinate the domain name system, IP address allocation, and 13 root servers. These infrastructures and community members are the foundation of the internet ecosystem to allow the one global network to be established and secured. These efforts have provided a single, stable, and solid foundation for the internet, which allow the exchange of information and bring the community members around the globe together. Taiwan is no exception. We have the TWNIC, Taiwan Network Information Center, serves as the similar purpose, mainly managing the TWCCTLD, IP addresses allocation, root server operation, and recently, from this year, the new TWCert-CC operation. Like the ICANN, TWNIC is dedicated to promoting the development and application of a better internet under this solid foundation in ecosystem. The Taiwan Internet Forum previously provided a meaningful platform for the stakeholders to exchange opinions, and this year, under the efforts of TWNIC and all our international friends, global friends, the TWNIC, in collaboration with the ICANN APAC, wants to take a step further to bring the stakeholders in Taiwan to meet with the international internet community. The engagement forum will pose as platform a place for all the stakeholders involved, from the individual user to the service provider, the small business to big enterprise, to meet and exchange and reach the consensus of keeping the one and only internet sustainable and thrive. As part of the private sector, we wish to kickstart vigorous participation and discussion among the community members, which will lead the meaningful conversation and lay the foundation for the consensus at the end of the conversation. In 2018, the IPv6 adoption rate in Taiwan has reached over 30%. This is a significant milestone as it is the fastest growth compared to the rest of the world. Thanks to the efforts to the telecom companies, which is one of the stakeholders that manages the infrastructure, the adoption of IPv6 will provide another advantage toward the application of new technologies, and it is the base for the future of Internet. In addition, the public policies on Internet governance are essentially based and rely on the participation of the stakeholders. It is important to encourage as many stakeholders as possible join the conversation, to produce more ideas and opinions for discussion to be shared, and finally reach consensus. Through the process of forming the consensus, the stakeholders can be united into one big community where everyone can express opinions and collaboration together. The ICANN demonstrated the application of this model, and we have TWNIC taken this approach, using the multiple stakeholder model to build understanding and consensus among the community members. At the same time, as the compliance of GDPR has become a major topic in 2018, the issues surrounding the personal information gathering and processing have stirred discussion on various platforms, and the topics such as EPDP on the temporary specification and registration data access protocol are rapidly taking over the discussion on privacy-related issues. Taiwan also has enacted Personal Information Protection Act, which, with the same intention of these laws, are to protect the individuals from the leak or misuse of private information. To ensure the security of the personal information, how the business, service provider, and other stakeholders that may gather information in the Internet communities work together to implement and comply with the laws are crucial. Only by building a clear and transparent Internet with open private policy and the trust of the users can be built and maintained. The forum will focus on the current development of the Who Is policy and how it will adjust it to cope and comply with the GDPR. Further on, the Internet is a network of infrastructure operated by community members. The ICANN is dedicated to making the Internet secure, stable, and interoperable with the help of the stakeholders and the community member. No man is an island. While the network programs and the systems are at times threatened by the hostile cyber attacks, the collaboration of the community members are crucial to fend off the threats at the first sight. In this context, the TWCERT CC plays a role of the centerpiece of the awareness. With the intelligence provided by the members, everyone will be able to understand and react to the threats and reduce the possible loss. And this is the power of people working together as a community. The TWCERT CC is one of the roles in the community. It will be able to provide the coordination of the latest intelligence to the local and international communities and ensure the members in Taiwan can be well prepared for the incoming threats through collaboration. To be brief, the one world, one Internet is not just an idea, but a reality for all of us sitting and the people we connected on the Internet, where we are constantly promoting and making. When the stakeholders unite as one, the Internet to be a better place for everyone. That is why the ICANN, APAC-TWNIC, and the TWNIC, as a part of this global community, determined to have the engagement forum, making more stakeholders to join the discussion and exchange the topics that will impact the Internet, public policy, privacy, and security. As one of the participants of the Internet world, I would like to encourage everyone participating in the forum to express and share your opinion, and then we will be able to get one step closer to one world, one Internet. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Nico-chan. Actually, we are ahead of the schedule. We almost finished 50% of the keynote speech right now. So we probably can have an early lunch today. But anyway, just kidding. We switch back to the opening remark. Next speaker will be Paul Wilson from APNIC. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Thanks also to all our friends at TWNIC for hosting this event. Thanks very much for having APNIC here with you. Thanks to our friends from ICANN and other organizations, local organizations in Taiwan, and thanks to you all for being here. I'm Paul, I'm the head of APNIC, and as the Regional Internet Registry for Asia Pacific, we've got critical work to do in managing the registration of internet addresses, IP addresses, in the Asia Pacific region. Now, of course, IP addresses are the numeric addresses of the internet. For us, IP means internet protocol and not intellectual property, and that's always worth pointing out where names and numbers come together. But we do work very closely together with the names community. We work closely with TWNIC in Taiwan. We work closely with ICANN, which plays a critical role, particularly in running the IANA under the PTI as the registry for numbers. ICANN, of course, is largely focused on names, but we do have a very strong relationship with ICANN on the numbers registry side. But overall, with names and numbers, we're all part of a global community of peer organizations which work together at global and regional and local levels to support the internet operationally. So what ICANN refers to is one world, one internet. At APNIC, we work for a global, open, stable and secure internet that serves the entire region. And these are sort of similar visions, I think. We also have similar challenges, and I think the interesting thing about our challenges is that they come from the quite outstanding success of the internet. For instance, growth, unexpected in the very early days, is one of the challenges that we are facing these days. And so IPv6 is one thing that is absolutely critical to the future of the internet, to sustaining the future growth of the internet, so that the internet can remain as we know it, as a single global network. The incredible success of the internet was, as I said, was never expected. So 4 billion IPv4 addresses seemed to be more than enough, but now we know and we expect that this transition is needed, not to an internet that's just a few times bigger, but under IPv4, an address space that's a good 4 billion times bigger. So we hope that IP address space would never be seen as a challenge again, at least not in the foreseeable future. We know that IPv6 is a long-term challenge, but I did want to mention in particular the success in Taiwan, which has reached about 33% deployment of IPv6 across the entire internet community here just in the past year. And that's put Taiwan, I want to mention, in the list as one of the top countries in the world for IPv6 deployment. The other challenge that I wanted to mention that's very relevant here is also a side effect of the success of the internet. It might not be seen as a very positive effect of that success, but it's still part of the fact that the internet is so successfully used by so many people for so many different personal and business activities, and that's the security of the internet, which in the same way is an unexpected challenge, because back in the early days, the internet was not only a much smaller network, but it was one that was built much more for sharing information, for connecting people together, and for doing that in a very trusted environment. So security is something that has become a modern challenge of the internet. As we know, the internet being used these days for billions and literally trillions of dollars in commerce. So security is on everyone's lips. I think it's very good to see, for instance, TWCERT having been strengthened under TWNIC in just the last year, and congratulations to everyone involved with that transition. But for APNIC, security refers to the security of the IP addressing system and secure use of the IP addressing resources in the routing system of the internet. So something I'll be talking about in a speech tomorrow will be the use of the RPKI, the Resource Public Key Infrastructure, in securing the routing system of the internet. So look, I think what's incredible about the internet is that despite all of these kind of threats and challenges, the growing pains, the security issues that we're concerned about, no one can really claim that the internet is not an outstanding success. As I say, that it's not integral to literally trillions of dollars of commerce, business globally, and to so much of what we do personally. That's actually surprising in a sense, but it's also not entirely an accident, because I think it speaks, this unexpected growth of the internet, I think speaks to the wisdom of the original model and the effectiveness of the structures that are behind the internet as we know it today. And that's largely the internet governance model, which we've already heard referred to, and which I think we'll be speaking about again before lunchtime. So I think we can see the internet, in spite of these challenges, as an outstanding success, and something that we together, working together, can ensure continues to be a success. And so with that, I hope that we have a very interesting couple of days, and thanks very much again to TWNIC for organising, and for all of you for being here. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. So we move to the keynote speech. The second keynote speech is presented by Akinori Mayamura at the board of ICANN. Thank you, Akinori.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Good morning, everyone. My name is Akinori Mayamura. Okay. My name is Akinori Mayamura. I am a member of the ICANN board of directors, and then I'm here for joining this engagement forum, of course. And then it is a really great pleasure to be back here. Taipei is my favorite, one of the favorite cities. And then I love the food here. I love the people. And then TWNIC has been kindly a very good friend of mine throughout my career for the internet coordination, which I have been running for 20 years. So I feel quite at home here. Then, thank you very much this time, TWNIC, for your local hosting. I know the Taiwan's Internet Forum has been really successful, collecting a lot of activities throughout the Taiwan for the internet infrastructure. And then this time, I'm really appreciate that TWNIC invited the ICANN to co-host this fabulous event. And then it's really great pleasure of the ICANN Asia Pacific, the headquarters, to join this effort. And then for us to come here to see the face of people here, and then get back with my friends of the TWNIC and the Taiwan internet community. So we've already had a lot of the valuable opening addresses, and then my script has nothing further than that, of course. But let me try to have have the talk. What happened in 50 years ago? Do you know what happened in 50 years ago? I was a baby. And 50 years ago, in 1969, on April 8th, was the date for the RFC1. RFC1 meaning the request for comments, number one. The request for comment is literally it's they are requesting the comments for some the document, and then the RFC that's called RFC, and then RFC is right now the brand name of the internet standard literature, standard documentation series. It counts up to more than 8,000 these days. It was born in 50 years ago. The author of the RFC1 is the Steve Crocker, who is former the chair of the ICANN board, and then the frontier, one of the several frontiers of the internet. And then actually the Steve Crocker authored one article 10 years ago when we were celebrating the 40th anniversary of the RFC. And then the article was on the New York Times at the time as the op-ed article. So you can find it by searching with the keyword Steve Crocker, RFC, New York Times, something, and then you can find that, and then it is really great article. At the time, now 50 years ago, the Steve Crocker is one of the graduate school student of the UCLA, who is at the time involved in ARPANET project. At the time, the Steve Crocker need to specify determine the specification of the host software which was to be used in ARPANET, and then that was problematic for him because he was a mere graduate student in a West Coast university, and then he need to propose that to the East Coast establishment professors. Then he decided to move that document forward to the East Coast by putting the name as the request for comment for that specification. That's a really lovely story that the West Coast graduate students to talk with the East Coast establishment. That's quite a contrast that the West Coast, they're doing the implementation, and then the West Coast people need to be authorized to move that forward from the establishment of the East Coast. That is something, the specification is determined by the authority, and then the people in the field do the implementation. That kind of the distinction was within that notion. Then my point here is that the RFC1 is the great start of the adventure of the internet decision-making process. I mean that those who are implementing the technology need to propose some standards and then have it determined. So no one else determined the protocol standard, but the doers of the protocol need to specify the protocol. That's the point. So let's call that do it ourselves way. Do it ourselves is became to be the standard way of the internet decision-making process in other field. So this do-it-ourselves way is, in other words, we call that bottom-up, open and inclusive, and the transparent way. So ourselves propose the policy and make the decision. It is a bottom-up way. And then to have the every newcomer become a part of ourselves, it needs to be open and inclusive. To have the newcomers fully knowledgeable for the past development, it needs to be transparent. So here comes the open, inclusive, bottom-up, and transparent way of the internet decision-making. Then, for example, not only the ITF, but in RILs like APAC-TWNIC, which Paul Wilson leads, employ this way, open, bottom-up, and transparent way. So that works for the decades. In the case of ICANN, the things are a little bit complicated than numbers and the protocol community, because in ICANN we need to set the policies of the domain names, which include a lot of other stakes and then a lot of other rights. So we need to invent another way, which is called the multi-stakeholder approach. Multi-stakeholder approach is to include the people with the various stakes for the decision-making process. So that in case of the ICANN, for developing the policies for the GTLDs, we have a lot of stakeholders from the registry and the registrars who are selling the domain names, and then internet users who buy and consume such domain name. They have a quite different interest and stake. And then we at ICANN have the policy, draft policy discussed throughout such a multi-stakeholder, then put the policy making there. So, I mean that sometimes the, I am now talking about do-it-ourselves way of the policy making, but the ICANN's example show you that sometimes ourselves is not that monolithic, but we have quite a diversity of the thoughts and the stakes. Then, for example, to be ourselves as collectively to do the policy making, we need to respect the diversity, and then the diversity has a lot of types. One of them is the geography. So, for example, in ICANN, we definitely need to have the say and the thoughts of a lot of parts of the world. Of course, Taiwan is one of the part of our integral community of the decision making. So this ICANN APAC-TWNIC engagement event is for us to hear what you would like for a lot of situations with the internet issues and the internet policies. And then we are here for you to give some idea what is going on in internet infrastructure globally, and then I'd like to have your idea what you would think about that kind of the issues. So we are here to tell something what is going on in the internet, and then for us to hear what you think about that. That is quite a pure meaning of the engagement. for our business. So you will have a lot of discussion here in these 2 days for the internet infrastructure. Then one of the examples is the GDPR, which is to be discussed in this afternoon. And the GDPR is that stands for General Data Protection Rules of the European Union, which is for preserving the privacy of the privacy information of the people in the Europe from the some mismaneuver by the provider and the operators in the internet. Then actually this GDPR put a big problem to the ICANN with ICANN's own policies for the FUIs. The FUIs is the database which tells who is the owner of the resource. So for the ICANN and the RIR's business, FUIs is critical because without FUIs, no one can know who is the owner of that resource. So the FUIs database is has been disclosing the information of the holder. Then this is quite a contrary from the notion of the GDPR, which is the preservation of the privacy information. But so for the GDPR discussion, we need to put up the policy which comply both to the privacy of the information, preservation, and then the disclosure of the resource holders. So this is a big challenge, and which is what we have been tackling on for the recent years. So this is a really good example of the the internet and the information society has a quite different set of the need a different set of the policies to save the people on the internet and then the information infrastructure. So today here in the ICANN APAC-TWNIC Engagement Forum, we will somehow concentrate on the policy making for the infrastructure of the internet, which is we call the issues of the internet or governance of the internet. But we at in the information era, we our living of the people and the activity of the private sectors are most of them are on the internet. So internet is right now quite the infrastructure of the society. Then because the internet is quite different from the infrastructure before the internet, the public policy need to be compliant to the internet characteristics. So we have a lot of issues on the internet. For example, we have we have quite a concern for the infringement of the privacy information, and then we have a lot of a scam on the internet, or we have a big issue of the fake news. There on the internet, then we are suffering from that. Then we need to tackle on that. One of the examples which I experienced is the contents blocking. And contents blocking, I experienced that in Japan. So in Japan, we have a really big concern for the piracy the sites of the manga contents. We have a lot of popular contents for the manga, and then the piracy site jeopardize the benefit of the manga producer. Then what the governments of Japan try to do is to legislate the blocking for blocking the access to such piracy sites. And then we had a quite tremendous the controversy for that. Like, the content blocking is just one of the several multitude of the solutions which prevent the content piracy. But the government is quite in haste to legislate the blocking, content blocking by the access provider. So we had quite a big discussion for how to tackle on the piracy sites without the content blocking. So in that case, we have a lot of solutions, potential solutions like education is important, and then we have not the blocking but filtering with some explicit consent of the customer will be effective to the suppress the blocking, or we may have the solution to suppress the ads to the such piracy site. That may be effective. So a lot of countermeasure potentially exist there. Then what we need is to discuss among such a lot of experts for the various segments to have the concerted solution to tackling on the piracy, and not just legislating the blocking. So what I mean is that nowadays the problem is quite complicated, and then we need a lot of expertise and not a lot of the various expertise to solve that. For that time, again, the do-it-ourselves way will be effective to suppress such a problem. So this is the governance on the internet. So governance on the internet, ICANN has quite a limited remit for our business. Our remit is restricted to do the unique identifier and then the DNS coordination. So we almost all ICANN's business is for that. But we are quite happy to encourage people to discuss in a multi-stakeholder way or the do-it-ourselves way by having this kind of the forum and then have a lot of issues discussed, and then say your opinion and hear the other's opinion. So that is really important to for you to be a part of ourselves who determine the policy of the internet and on the internet. So such kind of the multi-stakeholder approach is the something ICANN is really happy to encourage and then support. So this opportunity, ICANN APAC and the TWNIC Engagement Forum is basically for the discussing the issues and then the recent development of the internet infrastructure. We will have the 2-day session. Today we will have quite a discussion for the policies for the infrastructure, and then tomorrow we will have the more deep dive into the technologies. And then the technology, of course, need a lot of collaboration from the multitude of the stakeholders to work on collectively to solve the problem. So please don't hesitate to be part of the discussion for these 2 days, and then find your way how to be the part of the discussion, how to improve your own segment of the internet, and then collectively how to make the internet better. That's all I have for the keynote speech for this. Again, thank you very much for participating in this fabulous opportunity of the engagement forum in here. I'm really happy to be part of that. And then let's enjoy this engagement forum. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Akinori, can you remain on the stage for a few minutes? Because we are a little bit ahead of schedule, so we can have a few questions. Do you mind to have a response some question? Okay, let's open for the question. If any question, please stand in front of the mic and say two things, your name and or your affiliation, if any. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm Thomas. I work for a registrar, and I have a very simple question. The US government has asked ICANN to speed up on the GDPR issues. And I'm from Germany, so I know very well between EPAG, the German registrar, and ICANN trying to sue them and going back and forth and not working out. So what do you think is the schedule now for ICANN to respond to the GDPR issues and satisfying the requests of the US government as well?
Thank you very much. First of all, please let me solve my problem with the throat. Thank you very much. It is, I think it is a very good question. So we at ICANN now tackling on the GDPR issue, and then we are right now at the phase that the so-called phase 1 discussion is over. And then phase 1 discussion is basically recognize the temporary specification and then propose some amendment for that. And then the phase 2 is to set up the uniform access model, which is determine the qualification and then the privilege level of the access users for the registration data service. Then what the U.S. government told the ICANN is basically their concern of the rapid resolution of the GDPR issue. Then this is a quite famous problem of the ICANN, well-known problem of the ICANN, that the ICANN organization is concentrated on the facilitating the process by the community. So now the generic names supporting organization is on the full swing to do the constellation for the UAM after the phase 1 is over. So what we can do as the ICANN board and the ICANN organization is to facilitate the more expedited process for the GDPR discussion. So basically that would be the potential answer if we need to make to the U.S. government. Then it is sometimes, ICANN organization and the ICANN board are told like you are slow, but the reality is that we are very quick to do running the process with our community. I'd like to have your the kind understanding for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? Please stand in front of the mic, say your name and your affiliation, if any. Okay, can I raise one question?
Yes, please.
Yes, regarding to GDPR as a same as you mentioned who is been released for temporary specification from ICANN, and actually a lot of people from law enforcement agent, they claim that they cannot access to the customer database because that's prohibited because of GDPR requirement. And is any specification that allow them to have access to who is database without any restriction if they are certified law enforcement agent?
So that is belongs to, I think that belongs to the phase 2 discussion of the UAM. So UAM has the again what is the qualification of the users? For example, the law enforcement, and then the registrar and registry, and or simply user, or something like that. Then we need to set the criteria for that qualification, and then the second rule would be for a certain qualification, what level of the access should be entitled. So these two need to be discussed, and then it is really hard to determine, and then it is really not at all simple. So right now the discussion is going on, and there is no conclusion. So we need to wait the discussion, the development of the discussion. And then I think some discussion will be there in the afternoon free session. So maybe if you have the same question with the Kenya has, then please participate in that session, and you may have another good information for that.
Thank you. Actually, we do have very extensive discussion regarding to the who is specific regarding to GDPR issues. So please welcome to the afternoon section. So any other question? Please.
Hi, my name is Joy Chen. I'm from TWNIC as well as the TW Search CC. So my question is regarding to that you mentioned about the content blocking for the manga, the experience in Japan. So I was wondering if you can share just a little bit more about the takeaway that from this experience, or that people can take from the local community as well as the other countries, that what can we do or on the practical side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just for the disclaimer, ICANN does nothing to do with the content blocking. Then I need to put off my ICANN hat and then wear maybe the JPNX hat on. And then the takedown is if it were illegal, then it could be taken down. That's a quite notion of the situation. And then in Japan, there's some cases where the illegal contents is taken down, but it is really rare because such a malicious piracy site operator can hide themselves very easily. Then one of the curiosity of on myself as a JPNX is how to increase the enforcement power the extraterritorially. So once the major problem of that is that there's a piracy site which is written in Japanese. That means purely for the Japanese users, but it is located in the country in Caribbean islands or the Africa or something. Then in that case, so enforcement is definitely not enough to take down. So in that kind of the situation, that kind of situation should be addressed. And I don't think I am telling something easy. It's really difficult. But because internet allows any information in everywhere available at everywhere. So the enforcement power should be more powerful to address the issue by that kind of the regardless distance kind of problem. So that's my dream. So I want to have a very good solution by someone else. I'm not myself.
Okay, thank you. And question?
Hi, Mayamura-san. It's Alban Kwan from CSC. I have a question for you related to what you just mentioned about the privacy issues with the Japanese manga. So you mentioned that the problem would be the cross-country, cross-jurisdiction issue. And I think one of the key problem is that there's no central government, no central body to coordinate any internet governance issues. And if we think that internet governance and the reducing internet fragmentation would be important, what would be ICANN's role in here? Because ICANN traditionally doesn't want to get involved. But we can also see that IGF is not extremely effective. Would ICANN change your stance in some way to facilitate discussion among governments?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. And it is a really tough question. First, I can, as I said in my speech, ICANN has the quite limited remit, which is to coordinate the unique identifier system of the internet, including the IP address and the domain names, and then the management of the DNS at the root level. So then with that remit, the ICANN is doing some shared responsibility for the encouraging and facilitating the multi-stakeholder discussion for the wider internet problems. So that is one of the way how I can be handling that kind of a problem. So then ICANN is definitely not the responsible point which need to address such a criminal situation. So it's clearly not. Then IGF, by the way, is another body, not the body, but just a gathering to have a lot of people from all around the world, and then have the various things discussed. And then the IGF is the place for the various people to discuss concerns and problems. And then that kind of the discussion, from that discussion, the participants got a hint for their own responsibility to do their own business in their day-to-day life. So that's the conduit kind of the functionality has been working until now. But in the Paris, the IGF meeting, what President Macron said is, that functionality is a little bit not enough for what we need on the internet. So, it is really hard. For example, for the counter-criminal, Interpol is doing some work of the liaison of the police, the law enforcement agencies on a lot of jurisdictions. But I personally don't think that there are much stronger functionality with the UN level will function properly. So that kind of the discussion should be taken for, we need to take more and more time to discuss how to address that. And then we may have the solution in future, which we don't really have any idea of it. I hope this discourse say something effective to your answer, your question, sorry.
Okay, thank you. I think this session we can adjourn the session right now because we still have more discussion regarding to the policy development in the next section. So we can claim to adjourn the session right now. The tea break is available outside. So I see you in 11:15. Thank you.